directives of the Supreme Court, judgment in FRN v. Nnamdi Kanu in suit number SC/CR/1361/2022, delivered on the 15th of December 2023. The relief I'm seeking, my Lord, is very simple. The expunging from the records of this very honorable court the purported plea of not guilty entered by myself, the defendant, here the applicant, on the 29th day of March 2025, the same having been obtained under deception, coercion, and in clear violation of Section 36(6)(a) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, and in defiance of the Supreme Court's binding directive in FRN v. Nnamdi Kanu. I'm asking, my Lord, for an order setting aside all proceedings conducted pursuant to the said defective plea, including but not limited to the scheduling of defense, witness summons, and trial dates, the same being founded on a nullity ab initio. An order declaring that the seventh count charge, dated 29th March 2025, disclosed no triable offense known to law, having been founded on repealed statutes, namely the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act of 2013, repealed by the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022, and the Customs and Excise Management Act, Cap C45 LFN 2004, repealed by the Nigeria Customs Services Act of 2023, and in flagrant disobedience of the Supreme Court's order for amendment, and order striking out the charge in its entirety for want of jurisdiction, the same being incompetent and void ab initio. An order directing the immediate release of the defendant's applicant from custody, there being no valid charge pending before this very court, and such other orders as this very honorable court may deem fit and just to make in the circumstances. It was dated, my Lord, the 6th day of November 2025. Thank you, my Lord.
Yes,
May I please ask you? The position was heard a few minutes ago, motion by the defendant filed this morning. The motion was introduced by the defendant a few seconds ago. Lord, I do not intend to file a counter affidavit, but I rely on the proceedings of this court, which is attached to the motion as an exhibit. So, I do not intend to file a counter affidavit. But I just seek your lordship's permission.
What parts of the proceedings are you relying on?
The defendant attached the proceedings of the court marked as the NMK01. And I'm also relying on the record of this court in order of your lordship to take judicial notice.
The same record.
Well, it is a part of the main record of the court.
These are just some few pages of the date when he took his plea.
Can we go into it? Let us see. I've not read it. I just want what I've not read.
I have seen it. It is the defendants present in court on 21st day of March 2025. That was the day when his lead counsel, Kanu Adabi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Yushifazu, Polerokoro, and that number of them appeared.
Nnamdi Kanu's court session on November 7th was one of the most emotional and tense moments in his long legal battle. Inside the courtroom, everyone could feel the weight of his words. When he finally decided to speak, it wasn't just another legal argument. It was a speech that came straight from the heart. At first, his voice was calm, but as he continued, his tone changed. You could hear the frustration, the emotion, and the exhaustion in every line. He said he has been treated unfairly, held for too long, and pushed to the wall. Please remember to like this video and subscribe because we'll keep bringing you real updates like this. Now, let's talk about what led to that emotional outburst on November 7th. The hearing that day was focused on the federal government's request to reject Kanu's no-case submission. In simple terms, the government was asking the court not to free him yet, saying there is still a case for him to answer. Kanu's legal team, however, argued that the prosecution has not shown any strong evidence. They wanted the court to dismiss the charges completely. When the court sided with the government, disappointment filled the room. That moment was a clear breaking point for Kanu. He stood up and spoke his mind, not in anger, but in deep frustration. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you can stay updated. He spoke about how long this case has dragged, how he has been kept under tight conditions, and how justice seems far away. Those who were in court said the emotion was visible. His voice cracked at some point. Outside the court, his supporters were waiting, some praying, others chanting. When the news of his emotional speech reached them, social media exploded with reactions. People started saying, this man has truly been pushed to the wall. And honestly, you could feel that this wasn't just a political moment. It was a human one. Another reason for tension that day was the court's decision to allow some witnesses to testify behind screens for security reasons. The defense team protested that it could affect transparency and fairness. For them, justice should be open for all to see. That decision added to Kanu's frustration and made the courtroom even more charged. Think about it. After years of detention, delayed hearings, and heavy restrictions, anyone would feel cornered. Please like this video and subscribe because we'll continue to follow this story closely. Outside the courtroom on November 7th, and the atmosphere was electric. Supporters gathered peacefully in Abuja, while several towns in the southeast observed a partial shutdown to show solidarity. Shops were closed in Enugu, Anambra, and parts of Abia. Police presence was visible everywhere to keep peace, but emotions were high. Human rights organizations also spoke up, urging the government to make sure Kanu's trial remains fair and open. For many Nigerians, this case has become more than just a legal matter. It's about trust in the justice system. When Nnamdi Kanu said, "I've been pushed to the wall," those words carried weight. They spoke not just about his own pain, but about what many people in the Southeast and beyond feel. A deep frustration with how slow and complicated justice can be. It was a moment that summed up years of endurance. Whether you agree with his politics or not, that emotional moment showed a man who feels cornered but still determined to speak his truth. Please, before we continue, make sure you like this video and hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. Right now, Kanu's lawyers are preparing for the next legal step. The government insists it's following due process, while his supporters continue to call for fairness and his release. Everyone is watching to see what the next move will be. This case is testing Nigeria's justice system. Can it be fair, transparent, and humane under so much political and public pressure? That's the big question going forward. In the end, November 7th was more than just another hearing. It was an emotional turning point. Kanu's words, pushed to the wall, may become one of the most remembered moments of this trial. It was raw, it was human, and it showed the heavy toll this case has taken. As Nigeria waits for what happens next, one thing is sure: this story is not over yet.